So it is my great honor to get to have a quick conversation with another hero of real estate. So please join me on stage, Marty Reed. She is the Vice President of Operations for Black Knight MLS Solutions.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you. So I love this theme of getting to do this with heroes. It's a little unfair because I feel like 5-minute conversation between Marty and I is probably the shortest conversation we'll have ever had. But
we can certainly have much longer ones in the hallway.
That's right. So we had some pictures up for you, and I know that was part of, we asked you to send us some pictures that meant something to you. So let's start off with you sort of talking about these pictures and what prompted you to send them, and then we'll ask a bunch more questions.
Well, I think I'll talk about the one with the sunflowers in it first. I've been in Kansas probably going on 13 years now, but I don't know that I've ever really called Kansas home. When I met Karen 3 years ago, she's kind of opened my eyes to things in Kansas I didn't know. She's a native of Wichita, so the Sunflower Place is a very popular place, and people come from all around to go to this particular field. And that was the moment that I realized that Kansas was my home.
Oh, that's so special.
So that's that picture.
Before we talk about the next one, tell people, everybody doesn't know you as well as I do, so tell about where you came from.
I originally came from Arkansas, and I ran an MLS there for 15 years, a regional, and was very much a proponent for consolidation and merging, and kind of actually put my succession plan in place, and the person who's now running that kind of keeps that moving forward. So I moved to the dark side, as people call it, on the vendor side of things, but I love the technology so much, and I had such a passion for wanting to make it better and improve it so that our users had a better experience with it. So I brought that knowledge over here, and 13 years later, here I am.
So it was Alabama straight to Kansas City.
Well, Arkansas.
Arkansas, excuse me.
City.
To Kansas City. So that's a lot of difference. And so it's how many years ago was that?
That was in 2005.
2005, and just now the sunflowers.
Just now the sunflowers, yeah, starting to feel like it's home. So I actually put some roots down here. I didn't actually own a home, and that's a taboo when you're actually working in real estate. I rented for a period of time here. I actually left my job in Arkansas and for a short while worked for Clarity when they implemented the new security product, and then I actually did consulting and got recruited to come over and work on the Paragon side of things, which was where my passion was for some of them.
Yeah, of course. All right, tell us about the second picture.
Well, the second picture is very important to me. I think many of you know Rob Overman, and he recently had some health issues. Rob and I have known each other and worked together off and on probably for the 13 years that I've been on the vendor side of the house. Rob was actually the CTO of what was one of the many names of Black Knight, Fidelity, Finres, More Data. We have a family tree of different names, but Rob and I have worked together off and on. And those who know me and know me well, I'm kind of, we were contemplating and brainstorming. This was actually at a Clarity conference when this picture was taken. And we just had this really long discussion about what was the next thing we were going to do to improve our software and what we were going to do. And then we both kind of looked at each other, and then I sort of looked away, as you can see in the picture, and he looked at me because the last piece of conversation we had was that we both needed to start a group called WAA, Workaholics Anonymous, because that's been the stunt of my career, is that I've been known to be just work. To have met anybody in my life, and that's what people had said about that. I said, well, the only way I'm going to meet anybody is that they fall through the roof at the office. So those two things actually kind of got the balance going with almost 3 years ago. And but the working piece of that, and Rob holds a very special place in my heart for that.
That's super special. So you said you had a succession plan when you left the MLS side. Now you're on the vendor side. Tell me, what's your legacy? What do you want it to be?
I would hope that my legacy is to help to create software technology that allows the brokers and the agents to really bring in the consumer and the client into their relationship in a more collaborative environment than what they even have today. I know we have all kinds of tools and technology, but I think it's been said here many times, and by the way, I loved Shannon's opening thing today, was that it really comes down to the heart. because buying a house is an emotional experience. It might not be for specifically for men or women, but more women, because I think they're the buying power in that. But you have to create an emotional experience, but I think that starts with being able to provide technology to the person that you're working with that can actually help them get their job done more efficiently and more effectively. So I'd like to think my legacy is that I understand, coming from where I have on both sides of it, running an MLS and understanding what the pain points are for the brokers and the agents, and then taking what that is and bringing it on the vendor side of things to try to apply it to the software.
It's a good legacy. Lucky for us. Thank you. Thank you for being a
Thank
hero
you.
of real estate and for sitting up here with me.